This teaching contains everything about Zen Buddhism and will be divided into many videos. This is the first video to help you understand Zen. First of all, to study Zen, we must know what is the mind. The mind is Buddha, and all sentient beings have a mind. Realizing this is called directly pointing to the human mind, seeing one's true nature and becoming Buddha. So what is the mind like? First, the mind has no form, no shape, and no one created it. Because it has no creator, it is immortal. Immortal. Our Buddha nature is originally Amitabha, Buddha. What is Amitabha? Infinite light is the Buddha nature within us, the infinite radiance that illuminates all phenomena. Everything we perceive is illuminated by our own Buddha nature. Infinite life means never born, never created. We have lived through countless lifetimes, and countless lifetimes still lie ahead. That is infinite life. So what is infinite merit? What is infinite merit? Because it is spacious emptiness, inherently pure, yet not clinging to purity. That is Buddha, and that is infinite merit. This nature neither arises nor ceases, neither ages nor dies. It always sees, always hears, always knows. This seeing, hearing, knowing is completely unstained, free from all attachment. It simply knows clearly. Anything with form is false and subject to birth and death. If something has form, it has materiality, and whatever has materiality has a lifespan and will perish. No matter how big a mountain is, how tall a building is, how beautiful a car is, eventually they all decay. But this knowing nature remains. This knowing nature is Buddha. Its mind, it is truly you. What is infinite merit? Because it is a spacious emptiness, inherently pure, yet not clinging to purity. That is Buddha, and that is infinite merit. This nature neither arises nor ceases, neither ages nor dies. It always sees, always hears, always knows. This seeing, hearing, knowing is completely unstained, free from all attachment. It simply knows clearly. Anything with form is false and subject to birth and death. If something has form, it has materiality, and whatever has materiality has a lifespan and will perish. No matter how big a mountain is, how tall a building is, how beautiful a car is, eventually they all decay. But this knowing nature remains. This knowing nature is Buddha. His mind, it is truly you. This physical body is merely something we assume through karmic reincarnation, so it is not the true self. When this body is gone, another body will be taken. We have taken countless bodies before, and will continue taking countless bodies in the future. Rebirth, samsara, no matter how beautiful the body is, it eventually dies. Realizing this knowing nature means clearly seeing joy when it comes, clearly seeing sadness when it goes, yet never being carried away by either. As long as there is joy and sorrow, one is still within birth and death, within samsara. This knowing nature knows everything without analyzing, without attaching to anything. This teaching describes the mind. The mind is spacious emptiness, unborn and undying. But this physical body grows old every second, every minute. To study Zen, we must first understand that the mind is Buddha, and we must live with this mind. Anything with form is perishable. Thus, the formless is the true form. Secondly, to learn Zen, you must understand the laws of yin-yang, birth and death, reincarnation within the three realms. In the three realms, there are two poles, yin and yang, opposites. Thus, there are male and female, good and bad, big and small, rich and poor. This is duality within samsara. Why is poor called poor and not rich? Why is rich called rich and not poor? Because these are bindings, the laws of creation. They arise and cease when we die. Then, we must take another body, relearn everything. This is called knowledge. But knowledge is not truth. Wisdom is truth. Why do we suffer in samsara? Where does suffering come from? Because of the five aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness. We believe this body is me, These thoughts are me. This understanding is me. Sometimes, we study too many scriptures and think we are superior. Practicing only external forms is like polishing a tile to make a mirror. When this body dies, the next body must relearn everything that is birth and death. As long as we cling to one pole, for example, this person is good, that person is evil, we remain in samsara because the brain's knowing is the 5 aggregates influenced by yin and yang. This physical body has material form. Clinging to it brings rebirth. Why? Because we forget Buddha nature. Buddha nature simply knows, always alive, that spacious emptiness is Buddha. Recognize it and you become Buddha instantly. Now you say, I have too much greed, anger, ignorance. I don't have wisdom to study Dharma. Then what is it that knows you have greed, anger, and ignorance? If there were no knowing, how would you know that you have those defilements? That knowing is Buddha. Why identify with greed, anger, ignorance? Those states arise and cease, but the knowing remain. And because everyone has this knowing, everyone can become Buddha. But how does one become Buddha? By recognizing this knowing nature as Buddha. This knowing is always present, awake, asleep, dreaming, standing, sitting, walking. It always knows. Why then do we suffer? Because we identify the physical body as me. First, we think the body is the self. Second, we chase things to please and nourish the body for comfort and pleasure. Then we forget the true mind, the knowing nature, the Buddha nature. This knowing does not analyze, does not cling, that complete freedom is Amitabha. The Pure Land is right within the mind at this very moment. When you realize this mind, sadness comes, you know it. Joy comes, you know it. Without analyzing joy or sorrow, if you cling to sadness, you remain in samsara. If you cling to joy, you remain in samsara. Because both belong to the duality of yin and yang. Whatever arises, simply know it and it will pass away. Buddha nature naturally gives rise to all phenomena. If nothing arises, how could Buddha nature function? But if it arises and you cling to it, then you are still an ordinary being. Whatever has passed is gone, it has form, so it perishes. Do not keep it in the mind. What has not arrived, do not hope for it. This is the path of the Buddhas. Realize the mind and become Buddha without needing any formal practice. The third video speaks of the mistakes sentient beings make, causing endless suffering in samsara because they refuse to awaken. This knowing nature is possessed by all beings. So, is that not equality? Every sentient being sees, hears, knows instantly. Even when thunder strikes, one immediately sees, hears, knows. Who does not have this? This is the true reality. Thus, this knowing nature is the true reality. It has existed for countless lifetimes and will continue for countless lifetimes to come. Since it has no form, it is the true form. Everything with form is false and temporary. Sentient beings keep believing this body is me and my greed, anger, ignorance are me. Using precept, concentration, wisdom to suppress defilements is the lesser vehicle, hinayan. But what is the supreme vehicle? To realize the knowing nature and live with it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you become Buddha immediately. That is the supreme vehicle. Right now, if you say this to beings, few will believe it. It depends on their capacity and karmic conditions. Those who have suffered enough through countless lifetimes, wake up! There is no Buddha to become if you stay in samsara, suffering endlessly, still a sentient being. Why? Because you refuse to accept the mind as Buddha. Every being has the mind. If you refuse to accept the mind as Buddha, you remain a sentient being. Then you keep chasing joy, sorrow, love, hate, good, bad, the dualities of yin and yang. If you realize this mind, then when sadness comes, you know. When joy comes, you know. Embracing all, you become Buddha instantly. There is no other method. Thus, Buddha nature always knows clearly. It illuminates all things, an empty, boundless awareness covering the entire universe. This is the true self, immortal, indestructible. The body ages and dies. Without this Buddha nature, it disappears. A few days after death, it decays and returns to dust. This true nature, this knowing, does not require monastic life or ritual form. Thinking that becoming a monk is necessary to achieve enlightenment is mistaken. Worshipping Buddha only where there is a statue is mistaken. Buddha has no form, exists everywhere. You can bow anywhere. When nothing binds you anymore, you become Buddha liberated. The fourth teaching is the practice of Tathagata Zen. Practicing this leads to Buddhahood immediately, not tomorrow. The mind is originally Buddha. Every being has this mind. Who does not have the ability to see, hear, and know? Realizing this, the formless is realizing Buddha, eternal through countless lifetimes. Thus, this is Buddha. How to practice? Understand how the brain's knowing works. It analyzes, praises, criticizes. It likes what it calls right, hates what it calls wrong. When practicing, awaken the true knowing, seeing, hearing, knowing while chopping wood, sweeping the floor, cooking, studying, washing dishes. Just abide in the present moment. If your mind drifts to tomorrow or the past, you are lost outside the Dharma, still in samsara. Realizing this, knowing, means walking, standing, sitting, lying, all remain grounded in the present. Time flows, karma operates, yet this knowing flows with it, never apart. If it were apart, how could you stay alive? Thus always know clearly, whatever you do, stay in the present. Sometimes, wrong thoughts arise. If you think they are you and try to suppress them, that is the lesser vehicle. But in Tathagata Zen Supreme Vehicle, whatever arises, let it arise. It arises and it fades, birth and death. This knowing is the true self, always clear. It never stops knowing. Without this knowing, how could you distinguish right from wrong? Sentient beings cling to right and wrong, trapped by the brain and the five aggregates, pulled by yin-yang. When this body dies, the next body must relearn everything. But this knowing nature requires no learning. It simply knows, always knows. This is seeing the nature and becoming Buddha. Realizing this is seeing one's nature. Nothing else leads to Buddhahood. Anyone who hears this and awakens already recognizes their Buddha nature and knows who they truly are. Living with this knowing for 1, 2, or 3 days, that is meditation. This is Zen. You do not need to sit still to be meditating. When you sit, the mind starts craving states, craving experiences, craving attainment. This is guaranteed. Once you sit in full lotus posture, the sitting itself generates desire to see visions, colors, lights, scenes, Buddhas, ghosts, spirits. Then you think those things are real or unreal. That is the demon of the five aggregates. Why is it called demon? Because it appears and disappears. It has form, but once you exit meditation, it vanishes. The only thing left is the knowing. If one does not know or awaken to Buddha nature, does not realize the true mind, does not receive mind transmission, then sitting meditation cannot end suffering. The longer you sit, the more lost you become, the more craving arises. Just one moment of craving and demons will lead you astray. Thus, in Tathagata Zen, you only need to awaken the mind. Meditate with the mind, not with the posture. No need to sit at all. That alone brings complete liberation and peace, letting go of every chain. Whatever you studied, let it go. Realize the knowing nature, and you become Buddha immediately. Summary: to learn Zen, you must awaken the mind. All beings have a mind, and that mind is Buddha. This mind always sees, hears, knows, yet is never stained or attached. Second, the brain's knowing analyzes, clings, and requires learning, that is knowledge. After rebirth, the next body must relearn everything. But the innate knowing nature requires no learning. It always hears, sees, knows, empty, clear, illuminating all phenomena. Awaken to this marvelous point, and you become Buddha. Your knowing no Buddha can know for you, no God can know for you, only you can know. This is wonderful, realizing this is transcendence, freedom from birth and death, the supramundane path. When you awaken, no further practice is needed. Awakening the knowing returns you to your Buddha nature. But if you keep craving practice, craving attainment, everything becomes birth and death, merits are lost, and you continue drifting through samsara. Why do beings practice forever and never become Buddha? Because they practice appearances that cannot lead to awakening. Practice the opposite, practice directly in the mind. Whatever comes, just know. Know without analysis, without attachment, always seeing, hearing, knowing. This is the supreme jewel. Those who reject this teaching, let them continue practicing, continue suffering. Eventually, everyone will encounter this Dharma. This is the final Dharma. Because how many Buddha natures are there? Only one. So, what method leads to Buddhahood? Recognize that the mind is Buddha and you become Buddha instantly. It is truly that simple. But those who have attained realization never speak this openly because sentient beings would not understand. So they let people practice, and eventually self-realize on their own. But now, because the age is nearing decline, this Dharma must be revealed. Otherwise, how could anyone awaken in time? No matter how much one practices, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, one still may not become Buddha. Because the knowing nature is already Buddha. Yet beings forget this and go searching elsewhere. Thus, they continue in samsara, continue suffering, continue creating merit for enjoyment, but craving merit is a crooked path. Awaken the knowing and you become Buddha immediately. Not tomorrow, not the day after, right now.